This lesson, I want to show you how to generate the inverse of sine of x. So let's say that we are given f of x equals to sine of x. So to generate the inverse, the first thing that we have to do is to turn the f of x to y equals to sine of x. Then the second step is to solve for x. So to solve for x, we want to isolate this x. So we want to undo this sign. That is, we want to remove this sign from acting on the x. So how we do that is to take the inverse sign. So we can write it like, whatever I do to the right, I have to do it to the left. The inverse of sine, we take out sine. So on the right side, I'm going to only have x. And then the third step in finding this inverse is to now switch x and y. So we want to switch x and y. That means sine inverse of x becomes the y. So, and the final step, step 4, is to replace the new y. So we want to replace the new y with the inverse of f of x notation. So the inverse of f of x equals to. So before we move on, I want to point out that this sine raised to the power of -1 has a name, and it is called arc sine. So we can rewrite this as arc sine of x. So the inverse of sine of x will be arc sine of x. So I want to quickly point out that there could be misconceptions or misunderstanding when we are discussing the reciprocal of trigonometric functions. So the first misconception is to think that the arc sine of s is equal to 1 over sine of x. So this is not true, okay? This is not true. So these two, the inverse of the sine of x is not equals to the reciprocal of x. You will remember that the reciprocal of sine of x is actually cosecant of x, okay? So cosecant of x equals to the reciprocal of sine of x. So again, the arc sine of x is not the same thing as 1 over sine of x. So this misconception is always coming up under the inverses just because of the symbol. However, if I say sine of x, everything raised to the power of -1, then yes, this is equals to the reciprocal of x. And this is actually equals to the cosecant of x, okay? So there is a difference between the inverse of sine of x and the sine of x, everything raised to the power of -1. Again, please avoid this misconception. Avoid thinking that these two are the same. So thank you so much. I hope you like this video. Please remember to subscribe to this channel.